Okay, kids, Jay at Broad Performance here. Don't know if you watched the first video in this series, but check it out. I went all out for you. I put new labels on these gauges, and I even used a label maker. I know I said I was going to go get masking tape and do it that way, but I figured out what the hell. Let's go all out. So here we are. Okay, so here's what we got. I'm going to kind of do a quick rundown of this. In this video, I'm probably going to do another video or two on this. This is kind of complicated, and hopefully I don't bore the crap out of you. So I've got the valve body on this dyno, and it's been pretty inconsistent. So the title of this is, neutral's out in first gear. So you're going to see this. It doesn't always do it, but it's been kind of doing it right now. And I do have an adjustable regulator on that solenoid regulator, which is not typical, but we went over all this in the second video, I think. So if you would refer back to that. So here is our solenoid gauge here. Now, I've been told about 58 psi is the factory pressure we're looking for here. I think it runs a little better, a little lower than that, but about 58 is factory, or maybe it's 56. 56, 58, I think somewhere in there is where it's supposed to be. So we'll keep an eye on this. I'm going to do a quick run on this. This thing's really noisy and hard to talk over. So what we're going to notice is this. I'm going to shift it through the gears, and I know there's a lot of gauges to look at and there's a lot of things going on, but I'm going to show you, here's what we want to look at. Let's kind of simplify it in this video. We're looking at forward. This should only lose pressure, this should only go to 0 in fourth gear. And I'm going to call out the gears as I shift them. And you're going to see these gauges bouncing up and down and doing some crazy stuff. And I'll explain all that stuff in greater detail. But so look for forward. We want to have pressure in here in first, second, and third. No pressure in fourth. Solenoid regulator, we're going to assume that 58, 56 pounds. So keep an eye on that. So let's run this and see what happens. I'm going to turn the camera here, and I'm going to focus in on these two gauges for you, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to call out what gear we're in. So here we go. Prepare yourself for the noise. Okay, so first gear, you can see our solenoid pressure is about 45 to 50. And you'll see this thing kind of wanders and gets crazy. So's main pressure there on the forward. So I'm going to shift a second. Okay, you see your gauges flick a little bit. We're in second gear. Now to third. Okay, look at forward. Did some goofy stuff, but still okay. Solenoid pressure gauge came up to about 55. Kind of back down to 50. It's kind of floating around there. And now we're going to go in a fourth. And there we go, forward drops out, and that's what's supposed to happen. So we're going to just shift up and down here and see what happens. Third, second, first, second, third, fourth, back down to third. It took a little bit to recover there. Second, down to first. Second, third, fourth. So I'm going to do some 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. We'll see if this flakes out on us. It's running pretty good at the moment, so let's see what happens. 1, look at that, look at that. See, we lost some pressure in there, but not all. We're in first gear. Oh, there it goes back up to 180. Second, First again, look at that. Losing pressure. And I know we talked about this. I'll go over that again in a second. Second, first gear. Oh, losing it. Stayed for a second. Second gear. First gear. Second gear. First gear. Second gear. First. Second. First. Second. And I'm just going to go into third. Look at that. I'm in third gear and it dropped out. Look at what it's doing. Coming back on. Look at all that nonsense. That's third gear. That should not be happening. Let's shift to fourth. Everything's fine there. Let's go back down to third. Looks okay now. Second. First gear. Second. First. Second. First. I'm shutting off. All right, let's talk about this a little bit. So, this is the inconsistent flakiness I'm talking about. And you can kind of see these gauges are a little jumpy as it is. And this solenoid pressure, like I keep telling you, it's got to stay steady and it's got to be precise. It's got to roll with the punches very quickly here. And if it doesn't, we start to see problems with that forward. Now, we were shifting in third. Now, I know the title of the video is neutral drops in first, but this can also happen in third as well. And as you saw, we were losing pressure in forward at times. And a lot of times we weren't losing all the pressure. So you can build a unit, test drive it, and think, yeah, everything seems good. Let's get it to the customer. But if you're watching this gauge and you're seeing, you're supposed to have 180 and it's got 60 or 90 or 30, you might not notice that driving it. You probably won't, but you're sure going to notice it when the unit comes back pretty quickly because the forward clutches are just torn up, and they're very common in these units. And this is what I wanted you to see here. It didn't quite neutral drop out in first, like, I've run this valve body a little bit, not a lot. It's been a little inconsistent, I gotta say, but anyways, I wanted you to see that. I'm going to do another video on this, maybe another video or two. I'm probably boring the crap out of you. You probably are just hoping I give you the fix or something like that, but I'm trying to show you something. I'm trying to make a point. I want you to learn something. I want you to understand how these work. I also kind of want you to understand what somebody goes through when they build these things. And, when you're on the phone or on the email, when's it going to be done? When's it going to be done? Hurry up. I need that transmission. Motor's finished. Yeah, well, this is the kind of crap I got to deal with on these units. And quite frankly, all units have their idiosyncrasies, to put it nicely. They have their things they like to do to you. So you think, yep, it's all done. All I got to do is test it. Yeah, all you got to do is test it. Well, that's great when they work, but right now, I would never ship this to the customer. So I'm going to do another video on this, and we'll go into this in some more detail. So we'll see you on the next one.